Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. Welcome to Wednesday. A lot of people still love to say, hump day!
Do they, or is it just you?
Probably just me. But happy Wednesday nonetheless. April 3rd, 2024. How you doing this morning, Laura?
I'm okay. The coffee's starting to kick in, so I'm feeling a little more alive. Little dude was choosing violence with his wake-ups last night, so mom's a little tired. But we're here. We're doing it. We're having a good Wednesday. It's going to be great.
All right. That's awesome. I'm going to admit this now. Maybe we don't put this in the podcast later. By the way, whether you listen to us like in the Mix 85.7 app, you can do it there. Or wherever there's podcasts, just search for Big Joe and Laura or the Big Joe and Laura Show. Find us and make sure you check us out and listen to us. I don't know if everybody knows that, but
yeah.
Hopefully my wife doesn't, but she does.
Oh, she definitely is like one of our most loyal listeners to the podcast. So what are you going to admit to her now?
Last night kind of freaked me out, and I get why, but it's recycling is trash on my city street. They'll pick it up Wednesday morning, so we set it out Tuesday night.
Yeah, sure.
Somebody came through, and the wind was involved, but like every trash can, every recycling thing was open, and some stuff was on the ground. That usually never happens.
Yeah.
I get people going through trying to get cans and get their money. Like that's fine.
Listen, yeah, if you want to go through it and cash out, I'm never going to be mad at you.
But I was in bed, and I heard like a ring alarm go off last night on the camera, and it was actually Lindsay going out, and she was going towards our neighbors. I don't know if it's the wind or the person, but they knocked over a garbage can, and like the garbage is there, and we got raccoons that love to eat. So Lindsay picked all that up and told me about it as I was like half awake, like 10:30, 11 o'clock last night. And then this morning, I'm heading out to work, running behind, typical me, right?
Yeah.
And I look, I'm like, oh, our recycling lid's been open again. Like it's left open, and there's recycling scattered like near the street, in the sidewalk, down our neighbors.
Oh, no.
And it's all ours because we were filled to the brim.
Sure.
And I was like, might have been somebody doing it again. Might have been the wind. I don't know. But I'm like, I'm just going to pretend I didn't see this. And I got right to my car. It's
You're
recycling.
The worst. Okay.
Wait.
No. Here's what you should have done.
Okay.
You've already admitted it now. You're already in trouble. So good job.
Well, we can take this out of the podcast.
Okay, we're going to edit this out. What you should have done is been like, oh, weird. That must have happened after I left. Or, oh, weird. I there's no way that could have possibly been while I was there.
Well, here's the thing, Laura. You're right. That's what if Lindsay texts me, probably in the next couple hours or so when she gets up, and I'm like, oh, really? Wow. Like I'll play.
That's crazy.
I'll play dumb. I'm very good at like telling little lies. I'm the best at that. I lie to you all the time. But
about how you look great today. You seem rested.
Come on. I never would lie to you like that.
Oh, come on.
You're stunning. But yeah, I'm waiting for her to like have that 360 moment today where it is, oh, that's weird. Really what happened? Then like, you jerk, you lied to me.
Boy, I thought it was the raccoons. No.
But here's the thing, though. What if it was, though? I've seen a possum in my backyard this week. I've seen a raccoon.
A skunk? Have you seen a skunk this week?
I have not. Please don't wish it upon me.
I mean, you do have some skunky friends. Just make sure Benny leaves them alone this time.
We are Big Joe and Laura, and I didn't go through your recycling. It's Mix 95.7. Good morning.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
Students from Quincy Elementary in Zeeland are heading to the world's competition for Odyssey of the Mind. It's happening in Iowa. This is after they came in second place in the state competition. Now, if you're like, what the heck's Odyssey of the Mind? It's a really cool thing. It's a creative problem-solving program where these kids team up and they have to build things using only wood-like pieces. Now, the students got to build a structure that has certain limitations, but they don't know about them until they actually start the competition. So you can't pre-plan this,
No.
you know? Once that happens, the structure is then put to the test with a series of weighted plates. It's up to the kids to solve this. Parents can't help. They have a coach, but the coach can't help. It's just either you rise or you fall together.
That's so cool, though.
For them to go to Worlds, it's going to cost about $10,000 to travel and all that. So if you'd like to help out, they got a couple different ways online. There's a Venmo. Probably the easiest thing is just to write a check. You can do it directly to Quincy Elementary.
They showed up just before the Tigers had their opening day. Rick, Corey, and Chum Lee from Pawn Stars came to Detroit to film an episode for season 2 of Pawn Stars Do America, which is their like travel around and buy things store so people don't come to them in Las Vegas. And it's airing tonight at 8 o'clock on the History Channel if you want to watch it. They do find things all over the Detroit area, obviously some Tigers memorabilia. But one of the things I'm most excited about, and one of the most obvious things since it is Motor City, luxury cars.
Oh, yeah.
I bet they find some really cool old ones. Anyway, let me know if you watch it, if you see anything cool.
And your final need need to know news story. We're heading down to Florida where two cops showed up to a woman's house with groceries. Why? Well, they just arrested the delivery driver, wanted to make sure that lady got her food.
Hello, you ordered groceries?
Yes.
Your driver got arrested, so we're delivering your groceries.
I know. What service, huh?
Where would you like them?
I'll make sure you get his tip.
It's funny, they actually offer the cops the tip. I don't even know if they could take that, but here, take my eggs.
Please don't arrest me too.
That's your need to know news here on Mix 95.7.
Everybody's worried about who's going to be in charge of their little person, and I don't know who to pick. Hey, we're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7 Grand Rapids Best Mix. I'm a new mom, and my little guy is almost 5 months old, so while at first it was easy to take him to work and work around him at home for my husband, he's gotten to be a little more of a handful. He's a little noisy these days, and we want to find somebody to watch over him during a couple work days a week and try to make things a little bit easier on us.
I got to imagine that's stressful. I know my brother and sister-in-law are trying to figure out, daycare even for now and into the fall of next year, and it's expensive. To me, it's almost more than like most people's mortgages.
Oh, it can be extremely expensive. I mean, there's places we priced out that probably cost equally to one of our paychecks.
Wow.
So like one of our paychecks a month will be gone based on this. But I did find a place I kind of liked. And, I wanted to know, parents out there, you can give us a call at 616-600-0957. What do you look for when it comes to a daycare or childcare of any sort? Growing up, I actually went to a single woman's house who watched a bunch of kids. Like she was a babysitter. And so
Okay.
yeah, that's not really a thing as much these days, obviously, because of accreditation and all that. But back in the 90s, this woman named Miss Andrea watched me and all the kids in my hometown. And like it was all my parents and their friends and so it's like it was a community thing. But obviously here in Grand Rapids, I'm not from here. I don't have something like that. So I don't even have personal experience of what a daycare is supposed to be like, let alone to know what to look for. And my husband, James, and I went on a tour yesterday of a place in Cascade. We really liked it. They're really nice. And I think it could be a really good fit for us. But at the end of the tour, she was like, hey, do you guys have any questions? And I'm like, I probably should, but I don't know what to ask.
As soon as you get home, you're like, what about this? What about this?
I mean, no, I still, when we got home, I was still like, I know she sent me, all the info and everything. And I was just like, I know I need to ask questions, but everything looked good. And I feel like I'm missing something or I don't know what to ask or look for. And so I'm hoping I can get some advice. Again, at 616-600-0957. I mean, you've got nieces and nephews. What did your in-laws do or your brother do whenever they started looking for childcare for their little guys and gals?
My brother Bob, who lives out in Lansing, thankfully he works fully remote from his job.
Yeah.
So he can stay at home all the time. He has though been doing daycare, just trying to get things going, doing that. I remember he said he cried so much the first day he had to drop my nephew Jack off. Jack's like, wee! I was like,
I think that's going to be me if we ever have to. And I think my husband's kind of the same way because he does work mostly remote, but there's 2 days a week where he has to go into office. And that's kind of been our little bit of a crunch because while the little dude comes in here and he's cute and everybody likes seeing him, he's also kind of a distraction and he makes work a little difficult.
The one thing that the people I know do, but it's not necessarily easy, especially for you.
Yeah.
And I know this when I traveled in radio. That's why Lindsay and I have never even tried to have kids yet because we're finally back home. But that is family to watch
Yeah.
the kids. But what do you got? You got your mother and father-in-law. That's about it. So you got
Yeah.
one person you can lean on.
And they're both still working full time. So it's like while they're happy to take a sick day occasionally to help us out, it is a little difficult. And then my family back in Kentucky, my stepmom's retired, but she lives 8 hours away. So I don't think she's going to drive up to help every single day. Call me crazy.
Probably not.
So what do you do for childcare? Let me know what to look for or if you have any suggestions. Again, 616-600-0957.
It is the Big Joe and Laura show here on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix.
And yesterday I took a tour of a child care center. I think it went really well. And my husband and I are really excited about the possibility of having our son Justin maybe go there in the future because he's getting to be a little bigger and he's kind of a handful, especially when he comes into work with me or my husband.
He always talks over me. Like I'm trying to do the show and he's like, eh!
Which is like the noise he makes right now.
Like you and your mom do a podcast at home, buddy.
But we want to know, what do you look for when you're looking for a daycare or a child care provider? You can give us a call at 616-600-0957. Amber in Grand Rapids, what should I be looking for when it comes to child care for my little guy?
Well, Laura, listen, I work for Great Starts Equality. I don't know if you know what that is, but it's Michigan's quality improvement and recognition system.
Oh, okay.
And so what I do is I go to programs like family child care centers, preschool programs, and I observe for 2 to 3 hours. And what I do then is give them a quality level. So it starts at maintaining health and safety and goes up to demonstrating quality. And demonstrating quality is where I've been out to observe their program. So if you go to greatstarttoquality.org, it's a great resource for finding childcare.
Oh my gosh, I'm immediately going to go tear that website apart because I'm the kind of person that I'm like, give me reviews. And it's like, you can't always trust reviews online, especially for something like that, because people are only going to go say the negative things. So you don't know if it's just like some angry person or if it's legit. So thank you for what you do to keep parents like me sane.
Hold on, Amber. I got a question, though. So, like, what is one of the top things you say parents should look for when they're, like, trying to find a daycare for their kids?
So my biggest piece of advice is, yes, do a tour, but if you have the ability, sit in the classroom that your child will be in for more than 20 minutes. Like, do an hour and a half, something like that, because that'll give you a better idea of how they really interact with those kiddos, because those 5 minutes you're in that classroom might not be how it is the rest of the day.
Oh, yeah. No, you're probably right, because it's like they always want to show you, like, here, peek in real quick and don't look too long. But I will say I did spend a few minutes there with them, and it seemed like all the little kids were very, very happy at this place. So
Amber,
it seemed safe.
Amber, does this thing you were talking about, like the whole ratings or whatever you're involved with, does it like take into account like the snack options, like the good snackies?
I wish it did. No, yes. We look at different things depending on the program that we go to see, but we have different tools that we use. One of the tools does look at things like, are the snacks nutritional? Is there, are they following health and safety procedures like for diapering and hand washing, things like that. And we also look at the interactions that they're having with the kids, and we're there for 2 to 3 hours.
Well, if you need me to join you and sample the snacks, I could take that role on with your company.
Excellent. I'll keep that in mind.
Hey, thank you for the call, and I'm totally serious, by the way.
And hey, I want to give a shout out to Emily and Brady, who I did meet yesterday at Milestones in Cascade. You guys were awesome, and thank you for hanging out with us and playing along with Laura Can't Lose. And if you want to play Laura Can't Lose, give us a call, 616-600-0957. Again, that's 616-600-0957. We're playing in 2 songs here on Mix 95.7.
It's time to play Laura Can't Lose on Mix 95.7. Here's how it happens. Laura leaves the room, and we all enjoy the silence for a little bit, and you'll have 1 minute to answer 5 questions. You can pass if you need to, and we'll come back if time allows. A tie goes to Laura because, well, her name's on the show. Here's who's playing Laura Can't Lose today.
Back for the second day in a row, representing Muskegon is Destiny.
Welcome back, Destiny. How are you?
I'm doing well, thank you.
Hopefully we'll get to play for all 5 questions today.
Yeah, if you don't question every question I give you.
You don't know the difference in a baby sheep and a regular sheep, but fine, whatever, Joe.
Destiny, I've come to realize Laura's so afraid of losing, she'll try to have any question thrown out.
No, that is not true.
Okay,
Destiny,
well,
you deserve to have correct questions, too.
Destiny, do me something I wish I could do every day. Tell Laura to get out of the studio.
Okay, Laura, get out of here.
All right, is she
Google what button is again.
All right, let the past be the past. All right, she's out of here. Let's get into your first question. What Nickelodeon animated show starred Tommy, Chucky, and Angelica?
Rugrats.
Question 2. This crunchy snack is sometimes put on your fingertips to look like claws.
Bugles.
Question 3. This 42nd president of the United States also played the saxophone.
42nd president. Pass.
Question 4. What 1996 movie featured Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes?
Okay, go ahead and pass.
Question 5. This song by Lil Nas X made him a household name.
Old Time Road.
What was that?
Old Time Road? Or Old Time something.
Question 3. This 42nd president of the United States plays the saxophone.
I'll say Bush. I know it's not, but I don't know.
Okay, and question number 4. What 1996 movie featured Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes?
It's on the tip of my tongue. Oh my goodness. I guess I don't know it. I can't think of it.
All right, I'm going to bring Laura back in.
Laura! La 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 Laura!
All right, she's coming back. Let's not say anything here.
All right.
Laura, if you'd like to tie Destiny, you got to get yourself 2 right. You get any more than that, you're a winner.
How hard did you make these questions? Okay, let's go.
These are not hard questions.
That's what he always says.
Question 1, Laura. What Nickelodeon animated show starred Tommy, Chucky, and Angelica?
Rugrats.
Okay, 1-1 going into question 2. This crunchy snack is sometimes put on your fingertips to look like claws.
Bugles. I did it the other day.
Yes, in studio. 2-2 going into question 3. This 42nd president of the United States plays the saxophone.
That would be Bill Clinton.
That is correct. Laura has taken a lead of 3-2. Question 4. What 1996 movie featured Michael Jordan and the Looney Tunes?
The first movie I got to know, second movie I saw in theaters. That would be Space Jam.
Now, since you said it, what was the first?
Aladdin.
Aladdin, okay. Well, Laura now is up 4-2, and your final question just to finish this out. This song by Lil Nas X made him a household name.
Old Town Road? Is that what you would consider the...
That is correct. I wanted to take Destiny's, but she said Old Time Road.
Oh, they're so close.
She still would have lost, though. You went 5 for 5 today. Destiny, thanks for hanging out with us for the past couple of days. And
I'm so sorry, Destiny, but you did so great.
Yep, thank you.
And whoever's playing next for Laura Can't Lose thanks you, because the jackpot is now up to $50.
Which has never gotten past, so we'll see how I do tomorrow.
Hey, if you want to play like Destiny and take on Laura, you got a shot for those $50 in Michigan Lottery tickets. Call us at 616-600-0957.
It's time for Big Joe and Laura's Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
The solar eclipse is just a few days away. On Monday, it's when it's going to happen, and most of Michigan should see a partial eclipse. We're not in that whole path of totality, but it still will look kind of cool.
But are we actually going to see it? Because you know how the clouds are this time of year.
Well, the thing is, the weather doesn't look like it's going to fully cooperate.
No.
There's actually a good chance that cloud cover could impact a good part of Michigan, including Grand Rapids. Now, this can hopefully change, but as of now, it's all this hype, and then Mother Nature's like, not today.
I'm not showing you that part of my glory, thank you. All right, while we do have your chance to get 30 grand in your hand this week, it probably wouldn't land you on this list. Forbes' annual list of billionaires is out, and in 2024, it is the biggest list yet. I don't know if that's good news or bad news. I feel like
good for the rich people.
Yeah, I mean, for the rest of us, I feel like that hurts a little bit to hear. But how about this? One of the newest members of the list shouldn't really surprise anybody, Taylor Swift.
Yeah, I feel like she'd already be there. She's been crushing it.
Well, she made her most. She's now worth $1.1 billion after the Eras tour, so you can blame the scalpers all day long, but she was definitely making most of that money. Other obvious people who made the list again include Oprah, Mark Zuckerberg, Jeff Bezos, and the richest person on the planet. His name is Bernard Arnault. You may not know who he is, but you know what he owns. Tiffany, Louis Vuitton, and Sephora.
3 places I can't afford to shop at.
Yeah, listen, he definitely has a little bit of my money, that's for sure.
And what's going on with Lizzo? Last week, she said she was quitting music. Now she's posted a new video up explaining, well, this is what I really meant.
I quit giving any negative energy attention. What I'm not going to quit is the joy of my life, which is making music, which is connecting to people, because I know I'm not alone. In no way, shape, or form am I the only person who is experiencing that negative voice that seems to be louder than the positive. If I can just give one person the inspiration or motivation to stand up for themselves and say they quit letting negative people win, negative comments win, then I've done even more than I could have hoped for.
Anytime someone has to come back and say, this is what I really meant, you were being dramatic, everybody called you out, and now you got to backpedal, and that's really embarrassing, especially after all the controversy you've been going through over the last few months.
I just hope things can get figured out. I hope she can get herself together, and you know what? I really want some good music. That's what I'd love to have from her. I hope that's possible.
Listen, take a page out of Justin Timberlake's book. Just be quiet for a little while and drop a banger, and I promise we're all going to forgive you.
That's your Need to Know News on Mix 95.7.
So when it comes to social media, how young is too young? We're Big Joe and Laura on Mix 95.7, Grand Rapids Best Mix. And recently, you may have seen in the news, Florida decided to sign a law into a place that would ban anyone under the age of 14 from joining social media. Now, you probably know already that there are guidelines that say you can't join if you're under 13, but kids do it all the time. So when do you think kids should be getting on social media? We would love to hear from you at 616-600-0957.
I kind of think that that's a good age right there that you're talking about, around 14. And I know you got to actually enforce it, but I feel like if they could find a way to do that, I don't think it's a terrible idea if we did that in Michigan. Social media is great. I love it that I can connect with my wife's grandma who's like in her 90s, and she can see what's going on. Or my mom and grandma in Ohio, they can't travel up here anymore. It's really hard for them, but they can easily hop online and see stuff. We communicate. But then I think back to when I was in school, and all we had maybe when I was in high school was like MySpace, and Facebook came out when all my friends went to college. So while those are great things, also think of all the bullying that goes on now. And I know it's never going to be gone. It's always going to be there, but
sure.
The downside of I see kids comparing themselves more and more. I mean, it's always been done, but social media just amplifies it. You think you're ugly, then you go online, you see everything which is unrealistic. You're like, you just think the worst of yourself.
Absolutely, and I fully agree with you. I think there's a lot of cyberbullying that I don't think we necessarily had to deal with when we were teenagers. Because I had the internet, I had AOL, I had AIM, I had my instant messages, but like random people couldn't bully you. You kind of had to accept them into your group and give them your screen name. So it was much easier to kind of deflect from that kind of stuff. But I mean, I think signing a law into place is stupid. I'll be honest with you, because of all the things we need to fix in our government, I don't think this is going to do anything. If someone's 8 years old, how are you going to know they're 8 years old? They can just lie about their birthday. 14-year-olds don't have IDs. So I don't think that this law does anything at all. While I do agree that, no, you shouldn't be on social media before 14, do I think we need to waste our time to sign it into a law and change the rules that are already in place that basically say that anyway? No, I think it's just stupid grandstanding.
If you're a parent that has a kid around that age, or maybe you've had this conversation about social media, whether it's younger or older, where do you stand on this? Where do you think, the best spot to be is? I just think life would be so much simpler if we didn't have to deal with it all the time.
Honestly, I think that social media shouldn't exist for anyone under 18, if I'm going to take a real hot take, because I think that it's all it's doing is kind of making your brain a little melty and weird. And I think that things like, the kids, the memes right now are so ridiculous, like the Skibbity toilet thing. They're making an entire movie off of that, and I still cannot tell you what it is. So I get it. I love that kids are interacting with each other. Unless they decide to make a kids-only social media, I think that it's best to wait as long as possible to join that stuff. I'm not going to let my son join it for as long as possible, because I want him to actually be a real human who is implanted in the earth talking to real people. Maybe I'm crazy.
616-600-0957. Call and be part of the show and let us know what you think. That's 616-600-0957.